Welcome to HE Podcasts. My name is Hadi Alcott, and today's guest is Matty B. We delve into business, hardships, mindset, balance, and things that matter the most. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode as much as I did. This episode is brought to you by HE Advertising, where we bring your brand and vision to life through beautiful imagery and film. And without further ado, Matty B. How did you end up having a modeling agency in the Middle East?
Okay, so I've been out here now 7 years, and I originally came out here to run operations in a financial services organization, actually, which is what I've done for 25 years previously in the UK. And with that business, I finished work with that business and had a decision: do I stay in Bahrain, do something similar, or I'll set my own thing up for the first time in my life? And I found a bit of a gap in the market, I guess, some experience in modeling when I was very much younger, and business, social media interests and background as well. So I set this business up.
How did you overcome the obstacles during COVID?
During COVID, the real challenge was, how do we keep the business running? Because it was a new business. Only maybe 1 year prior to COVID, we'd been in existence. So from a personal point of view, as my business, I downsized where I lived. I handed back my car. I took to the bike and basically reduced all of my spend to focus on the business and my family. That was it. And by reducing those costs to an extreme, it meant that we could get through the business. And thankfully, working with people like Sarah, we had a good team, good loyalty, good working relationship to see that challenge through together. Of course, also the client demand wasn't there anymore. The client budgets were not there anymore. But on the flip of that, touching on an opportunity, clients had to get online. They had to be seen online, because physical attendance anywhere really switched to online. So that's where we focused a lot of our energy. And still, even now, beyond COVID, this is the world we're in now. COVID was one of the worst things ever, of course. But for me, it was one of the most enriching times as well, because I got back to basics. I think of times in the UK, I'd have, a nice car, nice job, salaried. This was now my own business, and a lot of stress, a lot of challenges personally to get through that. But I'm okay. I'm quite adaptable, and I can live super basic. And I really have for many years before COVID and since. And I'm not big on having a fancy car, branded clothing, and purchasing lots of things and going out a lot. I'm quite private and personal, and I live basic anyway. So it wasn't so much of a challenge, but the stress of the financial side because my business, I love my business, and no way did I want this to finish. But you have your family and yourself to try and maintain life, a good life with as well. So no, I enjoyed riding around on my bike, going to meetings via conference calls or on my bike. It sounds crazy now, but I learned a lot about myself, I think.
Do you miss having a stable job to rely on?
The business I run it can be seen as quite random, and individual bookings, individual service bookings or arrangements. So we're working on the business on longer term partnerships, maybe monthly arrangements, to get the feel of more stability in the business on a monthly basis, whilst also having the opportunity to take individual work with clients as well. So I do need both, actually. Some stability, probably 20-30%, but 70%, I love the challenge of where can we take this.
What are the top 3 things you wish you knew before starting a business?
Okay, I would highly recommend speaking to people in the industry broadly that you're looking to get into. I would do that right now if I started again, because I didn't. I sort of worked very, very solo. In my room, I had whiteboards, I was scribbling things, researching online. I would have met more people, for sure. I would say as well, learn about social media, learn about online, learn about how your business can reach people in the non-physical. So this is in contrast to my first point. Meet people, get, if you like, mentors, absorb as much information as you can, number one. Number two, learn about the online world. Number three, I mean, you have to be relentless. You have to give all your time to the venture or it just won't succeed. It takes a lot of time and effort. Even now I don't work 24/7, but aside from sleep and 1 or 2 hours doing something else, I work. And you have to in the early days. So those will be the 3 things. But the third thing being really, you have to be so relentless. And you can only be relentless if you love what you're doing as well, by the way. So choose something you like. Very important.
How do you find balance when you're so immersed in your work?
So balance can be absolutely found, but it's in different ways. So if I remember, not forgetting, I had over 25 years in an office, pretty much. You go in 8 a.m., you finish 4, 5, 6 p.m. Standard. You're fairly locked to the office. Not in all jobs, but I'm talking generically in what I've done previously. The job I have now, whereas I might mention I'm relentless and I work 24/7, I do have opportunity to, if you like, go pick my child up from school, go do the groceries at 12 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon, go to the gym at a time that suits me, working around client bookings. So there's quite a lot of ability to make your day what you need it to be in a more flexible way. On the flip of that, take every opportunity with all the available hours to work as well. So I think it can work really well, especially for individuals with families or commitments, where certain points in the day you have to do things that are not traditional to the 9 to 5 working day. And then I would recommend doing what I did, working with a couple of other people also, where you can tag team on those times as well. So you'll know I work with a couple of other individuals who have valuable things they will want to do during their working day, which is cool. So the individual will be offline, I will be online, and we tag team back and forth like this. So it's just a different way of working, and we found a really good way to do that. So yes, I go to the gym, I get time with my family. My family's in the UK now, my son is in the UK, but video calls happen every day, and then of course I go over there to spend time with him. And I will mention as a business owner as well, with a digitally enabled business, if you need to go geographically somewhere else, I can. I can work from the UK for a month while my son is on his school holidays, sat with my son and spending time with my son, of course, but also responding to business inquiries.
What does the B in Matty B stand for?
My surname is Benson.
Benson. That's
Matty B.
okay. So Benson.
However, it also is relevant to Bahrain. So B as in my surname, but also as it's Bahrain, I felt it was totally relevant. We've just rebranded actually to MB, Models International. So taking my name off the brand now. It was there in the beginning. There was just, it was a bit of a thing. People would say, hey, Matty B, and it became a little bit of a personal brand, Matty B Models. But as it's developed into a more successful, bigger brand, if you like, we had to change that branding now. So we trade as Matty B Models in Bahrain with our CR. but the branding, the logos, the online presence is MB Models International. So a little bit extra to the story there.
What does your agency do?
Primarily a model agency, of course. So we have models. We have models that also can provide hostessing services or promoter services at events. We have photography, videography. We produce reels, content for clients. We also run Instagram accounts and TikTok accounts for clients as well. We provide styling services. We work with great salons here as well for beauty services. So we try and provide everything a client would want. When a client comes to us, can I book a model? We like the fact we can provide almost everything else that they might need. And I guess not a lot of people know this now, but this is part of the new brand proposition, the marketing and the messages that we're starting to get out there. So we do a number of other things. A great part of our success is working with companies like yourselves, because I don't employ directly a lot of these services. I have partnerships and relationships with wonderful businesses and people in Bahrain. And that's how we can provide great services with other people in Bahrain for the end client.
What's your biggest fear?
I mean, there's two things in my life. One is my business, and the other is my son. So the biggest fear I have is that maybe my business is not successful enough to give me the ability to spend as much time as I can with my son, because he's 7. So this is like an ongoing thing for me, that my business really succeeds because I love my business, but a lot of it is about my son. So this is my biggest fear, that these things don't come together. And but I will deal with that when I don't think it will, this happens, because I will always find a positive way through any situation, like we did through COVID. So, but if you ask me, and I wasn't expecting you to ask me, but you know, that would be my answer.
What do you do to have what seems to be a bulletproof mindset, and how do you think everyday people can acquire that?
I mean, I'm 47 now, so I've been through a lot. And I think only when you've been through a lot can you then work out how does it turn out when you think, you know, the worst. And normally it ends up okay. What I've learned is if I go through an experience with more negative thoughts or questioning, my energy level is lower, and the chance of success, I feel, is lower of getting through that situation. And I know I will get through it anyway. So I refocus myself almost daily sometimes on the fact that positive energy and momentum will get you through something. It's just fact, much more easily than if you have the opposite thought. But actually doing that is a challenge. But I've learned now that, I mean, so for example, somebody will cut me off on the roads, right? And in the past, it will get me a bit angry, annoyed, or whatever else. Now, genuinely, I smile, I let the individual go, and I wish them well. And then I positively think about my day changing from this being cut off with a car to actually having a wonderful journey. Like, this is a really simple thing, but these little simple things make a massive difference to your day. Without going into detail, I mentioned my son. You know, I'm not with his mum anymore. So at the time of COVID, the change of my personal life was around the same time, and the business was struggling. So I had all these things happening, and I removed my car. I'm on a bike. Yeah, I'm on my own and trying to survive. And I deliberately forced the positivity through my being, if you like, to get through that. And I found it to be hugely successful in managing that situation. And I have other things like, for instance, I believe in energies and frequencies. I will play these things through my TV. I will manifest positive thoughts. I know this might be a bit sort of strange, I don't know, but this is something that really works for me. And I guess my main point is, what's the alternative? The alternative is to go into yourself and detract and become negative, and nowhere will the end result be the same as if I took the positive angle. So a mixture of experience and practicing these things really helped me. And I also offer to people, if they want to chat about this stuff, this is so important, that people feel they can talk to somebody in confidence about feeling a bit down or challenges. So I do and not many people will ask me because they don't really know this about me, but sometimes I do have conversations with people, and it helps me. But also, if it helps just one other person while we have the conversation, then amazing.
Do you ever feel that allowing feelings of resentment, guilt, and sadness to pass through you and actually feel them fully will help you get past the hardships or blockages faster instead of turning a blind eye to them?
Yeah, I agree. I'm not very good at sharing my emotions or talking to people personally. This is what I'd say something I have to do better at. So I've had a few situations in my life where I bottle everything up, and it is a problem. And still I don't do much about that. When I was in the UK, my personal situation changed. This is, I don't know how best to explain this. You'll have to, of course, edit this, but it's not something appropriate for the camera. But I left my hometown of York, where I'd lived all my life, and went to live down south on my own. And I really struggled. I had to have counselling. I had to have support because I was breaking down, basically. Everything I knew was gone. And I suppose what I did, I used to sit on my own. I'll be on my own and isolate myself for days, weeks, months, years as well. And this has happened twice. I just found a way to meet people and friends with common interests, and I came out of it. But I had a shock to my confidence. Am I actually meant to be with anyone? Can I actually do this stuff? Why can I not interact with people very well? Because I'm quite introverted. People will describe me as an introverted extrovert. Because, with work and everything else, I'm very lively. I'm very out there. The moment it turns personal, I close down. I hide away. Is a hermit a word?
Yeah, hermit is a word. Yeah, hermit.
Yeah, I'm hermit away. I'm like this. So I'll try and sort of phrase this differently. And so, yes, I've had a time in my life, probably twice, where the challenges have been very extreme, linked around the end of relationships, where I question myself and my value that I can give to others. And the way through that has always been talking to somebody about this and meeting up with very, very close friends you feel you can talk to. And that has been my way through it. And it's happened twice, like I say. My focus always has been, ultimately, I believe I can do very, very well. And that I'm a good person. And there is always a way through, no matter what. But the second time in my life, my focus has been my son. My son is called Logan, and he's like my driving force. There is nothing that will stop me, no matter what could happen to me personally, when I know, Logan is there, and when I'm not here any longer, then Logan will be. So I want him to be proud of me and set up very well in his life, as well as he must work very hard and achieve himself, but that I gave him something.
Beautiful.
You'll have to edit that a lot.
No, this is good. This is really good. I think like a lot of it is really solid. I don't think I have much editing to do. But to end on a positive. How do you think we can have more positive days and lives eventually?
On a morning, you will wake up with different emotions. You'll either be positive, you'll be questioning, you'll feel rushed, you'll feel I don't have a purpose. Like something will be there in the morning. Take your time for half an hour, 30 minutes, 1 hour, to just relax, think about the things you're grateful for, and think about the positive impact you could have on the day. Even if these other things are there, they will start to go in that morning period. They will, as long as you sort of deliberately do this. And it might only be 5 minutes. It doesn't need to be that long. Running alongside this, take moments each day to, again, be grateful. Gratitude is a big thing for me. I'm grateful for every person I've met. I'm grateful for experiences that have been negative because I've learned from that and how that can change. So take your time in the morning, be grateful during the day. And I think just try and do something you love. And if you don't love what you do in the daytime, because many of us in our lives that sometimes have had jobs or whatever we don't really love, then do something else you do love after work or later on. So morning reflection, gratitude through the day, and do something you love, even if it's for 20 minutes. But do it. It might be going to the gym. It might be watching that documentary. It might be just spending an extra 20 minutes or making a phone call to a family member. It will change your day.
Love it. Thank you, Matty. That was great. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.